Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and today it is time for my long-term review of the Hoyt Carbon RX-7 Ultra. This year I actually learned why there has never been an RX-2 or an RX-6, and apparently is when Hoyt comes out with a brand new riser design, they skip a number. So I got that little tidbit from Kevin Wilkey. He's a longtime Hoyt pro, and in case you didn't know, he's also responsible, at least partially, for putting a bow in my hands for the very first time ever. So if you don't like this channel, you can blame Kevin. It was just a year ago that Hoyt introduced its new binary style cam, getting rid of their old kind of cam and a half design. And this year, yeah, they made a bigger change with a whole new riser to go with this package. Also last year they introduced the Picatinny sight mount, and they actually made a bit of a change this year, which I actually like a lot better. Last year, to use that Picatinny, you had to take a plate off of here and do a little minor surgery on the bow. This time it's just there available for the taking. The additional side mount is right there should you want it, but I've got this HHA Tetra Max Pro on here, specifically designed for this Hoyt. Love how it shoots, like how it sets up right central on the bow like that. It's a pretty cool package. Overall, this bow has an axle to axle length of 34 inches, a brace height of 7 inches, and an IBO rated speed of 334 feet per second. Now let's get to the review. So I like to start off all my reviews by talking about draw cycle, because that's about as important of an aspect as you can find in a bow. If you don't like drawing your bow, you're not going to like shooting your bow. And the 5 hunting bows I tested this year were all pretty similar. None of these were what you'd call a big aggressive speed bow, so they all were fairly similar in the ease of draw. Of the 5, though, the Hoyt did not finish amongst the leaders. I did a whole video on draw cycle a little while ago. You can go check that out if you like, to learn a little more specifics about how each one performed. But the Hoyt was kind of towards the bottom of the pack there, which is a bit odd for me, because I traditionally like Hoyt's draws a lot. The RX-5 I like quite a bit, that I shot last year. The only issue with the RX-7 was it's a little stiffer feeling than I was expecting out of a 334 IBO bow. There's a little dip into the valley, but again, none of these bows were bad. They're all very easy to shoot all day long. I just didn't happen to like this one as much against some of the other competition. Once you get to full draw, however, this bow absolutely sings. I shot this bow so incredibly well and accurately, at least for my limited skill set, but it just holds just like perfectly on target for me. I probably held this the best of any of the bow I shot this year. I shot this thing as well as I can shoot a hunting bow, and I like that an awful lot. A nice addition to that, I guess, for me, was the adjustable draw stop. There you could shoot this one at 80 or 85%. I actually normally like shooting 80% let off, just because I like a little bit of, I like to be forced to stay against the wall. I tend to creep off a little bit. But the 80 I found really aggressive on this bow. So I used that for the speed test, but when it came to actually shooting it regularly, I like the 85% let off. It's still, feels right in my hand at full draw. It doesn't feel like it's too light for me. I don't love shooting like 90% let off bows or anything like that. But that 85% let off spot makes this feel absolutely perfect. The wall on this bow is I would say it's about what I like out of a hunting bow. I prefer a cable stop bow. That's what this is. I don't like anything super squishy, which you might be able to say some of the older Hoyts were. But starting last year, now this year, it's actually a fairly firm wall with just a little bit to give into it. That's how I shoot best. I like having that little give to kind of pull into. And this bow kind of does all those things as well as I can expect. Once you've let the arrow go, the RX-7 continues to impress. Carbon bows have a history of maybe being a little bit buzzy in the hand. Having that's the penalty of using maybe of material like carbon over aluminum. Not this year. This was as quiet and vibration free after the shot as any bow I shot this year, which was a big surprise. It was a real delight. I shot this back to back against the Matthews bows, which have dominated this category for me in the last 4 or 5 years. And I shot them back to back for 15 minutes, one arrow each, and I couldn't pick a winner. It was that close. So that'll let you know how good this bow feels after the shot. Now let's talk speed. I have this bow set up with 70 pounds of draw weight and 30 1/8 inches of draw length, as close to that 30-70 as I can get. And I shot a 350 grain gold tip platinum pierce, an average of 322 feet per second. And then I shot a heavier 477 grain gold tip airstrike, an average of 279 feet per second. So very good numbers for this bow. I actually, had the lowest kind of IBO rated speed of any of the bows in the competition, and ended up finishing in the middle of the pack for speed. So, kudos to Hoyt for kind of getting closer to that their claimed speed number than pretty much everybody else. Fit and finish is another area where the RX-7 absolutely shines. I have had some issues with kind of Hoyt camel wrap bows in the past, but the Realtree edge on this bow looks absolutely flawless after, a couple months of use. Plus, this was a demo bow before I got it. If you've ever seen anybody use a bow at a trade show, you know they're not particularly careful. I also just love the shape and the look of this carbon riser. It is just an absolute beauty. Of course, though, carbon comes with a penalty, and that is price. The RX-7 Ultra has a retail price of $1,800, which is the most expensive Hoyt hunting bow that I am aware of. And so, that's the price of admission when you're looking at carbon fiber. You can go over to the Hoyt Ventum Pro 33, which is an aluminum riser bow with very similar specs, and save $450 or so. So if you're not worried about the carbon fiber, which is going to give you a little less weight and feel much better on the hand in a cold fall morning hunt, that's up to you. Bottom line, however, is the RX-7 Ultra is just a fantastic shooting bow and just shockingly quiet and vibration-free in the hand after the shot. If that ticks the boxes you're looking for, head over to your local Hoyt dealer and take one for a test drive.